Adam Sandler, just with the Insano ball, just horizontal across the field. And you're just like, oh no. He's a little man, and that is a big old bit of biltong just flying through the air.
Hello and welcome back to RugbyPass Offload with me, Mark Edwards, joined as always by the irrepressible duo with the Scotland and Glasgow Warriors stalwart Ryan Wilson and Bristol Bears prop Max Leif, and our friend of the show and regular co-host joining us in a bit is Exeter Chiefs winger Jack Nowell. How are we doing, boys? How's your week been, Ryan?
That's a lie. He's already popped in here, but he was trying to do it whilst driving. So let's not brush around the edges because we'll give him some shit when he gets on here later. Trying to do it from his Jag in the car park at Exeter Stadium. Unbelievable. I'm all good. How are you, Max?
Dusty, very dusty, Ryan. Big old day today, gooey day, yeah.
Tuesdays are never good, are they?
It's always clanging and banging, mauling and brawling. You know what it's like. You've been there.
Mate, tell me about it. I can actually, if I bend my legs here, I can hear them creak. I need some WD-40 in them or something. There's got to be some sort of lubricant that can get put into your knees. There isn't there?
It's called like Austin or something, yeah. That's crepitus. Yeah, that's the cartilage just slowly disintegrating.
Yeah, mine are gone. Mine are fully gone.
Yeah, I get it as well.
Yeah, but you squat quite a lot. I don't even squat anymore, so I don't know why I get it. But yeah, Tuesdays are a bad day, but we're all right. We're here and we're ready to chat rugby.
Well, speaking of which, the opening round of the Premiership, Max Bristol versus Saracens, didn't go your way. Saris with the win. Tough day at the office.
What the hell happened?
Oh, well, we were actually, the game plan was going real smoothly for like the first 20 half hour. And then, ill discipline at the scrum. I have to take some responsibility. Wayne Barnes was pinging us left, right, and rhubarb. So, and then Lazowski was kicking like an absolute assassin. Outrageous stuff. The boot of King Midas. Tompkins was also on flames. He's so niggly to bring down. He's way stronger than he looks. Bastard. But yeah, it was a tough game. Just like ill discipline. And then obviously when Saris get ahead, they just hold that scoreline well. And that like D just comes at you hot.
But that's
trying to make you do errors.
That's what I'm hearing. Like, I didn't watch the game. I saw some of the highlights, but by the chat of everyone going, it's you boys tried to, you know what they say, out Saracens. You've kicked the lever off the ball. Kick the ball more in the first 20 minutes than you've probably ever kicked the ball in your lives, haven't you?
Yeah, but it's like it was just a tactical game to play against them, you know, it's well above my pay grade. I'm there to shift pianos, big fella. You know what it's like.
So what happened? What you tried to stick to that and then just got bored and thought, let's try to throw the ball around.
Oh, well, yeah. Once we got behind, we were like, we're going to have to chance our arm here. We're going to have to score some TRYs. And then, that D and Saris were very, very virulent. They were, mate, Ben Earl was sledging like an absolute wordsmith. He was outrageous.
Oh, my God. Really?
Very, very hammy, like full troll mode. But it was quite funny.
That's Saris, though, eh? They'll do that. Like, we've done it before. We've played against them God knows how many times in the European Cup. And you try and do what Saracens do. You do this kicking thing. It's quite a boring game of rugby. And they get a little sniff. They get a little bit ahead. And then you think, right, we better start throwing the ball about. And that's when they then kill you, right? That's when they come into it. Absolutely bad. So was it a tough old Monday, was it?
Yeah, it was decent. It was accountability day. Yeah, you know how it is.
Well, let's move to another big surprise that came up, and it was the Leicester beating Exeter. What were the thoughts on that?
Yeah, the Renaissance could be at hand, couldn't it? Leicester looking naughty. And then you've got to look at sort of, I think it was just a while before Steve Borthwick got to implement that kind of style of play he wanted. And now it looks like it's fully there. Obviously, Ellis Genge, new captain, heart on his sleeve, vibe, played very well. Thought George Ford, now he gets a bit front foot ball. He is an absolute nightmare. Like he's got the ball on a string. And
he plays right to the line, eh? Right to the line. And he's a good passer of the ball, to be fair to him. He's not one of these running tens that will show and go. He just bloody good passer of the ball and puts the ball in the corners.
Absolutely. And then you got to talk about, you got to think about when some of those other boys get bad, like the Springbok lads and stuff. Like you got to look at that season and be like, well, Leicester has staked a claim here, like Chiefs at home. But like Nomani Nandolo, bro, he was very naughty, actually. He was very good. very industrious off the edge. And my God, he's got a physiology, doesn't he?
Holy hecker.
Yeah, big old boy.
That's a big old Swede on him. Like,
yeah,
that adds
everything.
To the frame.
Yeah.
But look at the scores in the Premiership, by the way, at the weekend. There's some big old scores. It's good for Premiership rugby. Like to see these scores. No one wants to go and see like a 3-0, do they? So the fact that people are throwing the ball about a bit more and scoring some tries is definitely a positive thing for rugby in general, I suppose.
Not really from your perspective, Max, seeing as your game is probably one of the more dour ones of the weekend, sadly.
It was.
Yeah, you've ruined it. You've ruined it. Nice one.
Unlike us, though. Unlike us.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
We did get a great Charles Teetotal sidestep, though.
Yes, that was fantastic. It couldn't happen to a better bloke as well. Benno, on your knees.
Oh,
that is my soul.
Hey, I think I tagged you in something on it.
Yeah, you did.
When I saw it, and it's like it's one of those ones where you just know you've been done, and it just sort of fell to his knees, like no.
Head down, just like
instantly. Either the bus journey on the way back comes into your mind because people will be watching the game on the bus, going, "Oh, Elsie, have a look at this." Or you're thinking Monday morning, they're going to show that one so many times. I'm dreading this.
Mate, Charles Teetotal off the left, one of the best ever. Like most outrageous feat. Oh my God. The prophet Teetotal.
Were boys not giving Elsie a bit of sticker over that?
Yeah, of course. All the boys are loving it. Yeah. But yeah. He was the happy man at the end of the day though. But yeah, he was getting it hard. Sheedy was loving it. It was good crack. Very good.
Ryan, no match yet. Glasgow, though, managed to move some of their games back to Friday nights. Traditionally a very fun evening for the Warriors fans. What's the best atmosphere of any stadium you've played in?
Well, just to start on Friday nights, you don't play many of them, do you, Max? You played one, that was at the weekend. I know you didn't get to enjoy it, but you get a weekend. That's the main thing about playing Friday nights. It's not all for the fans, it's for the players. Yeah, like
absolutely.
Get a game on a Friday night. You know that Thursday's a team run, so it's pretty light. Wednesday's a day off. So realistically, Monday and Tuesday, and you get a whole weekend off. There's nothing better. There's nothing better. So we were pushing that more than the fans, I think. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like to play on a Friday night. Yeah, I don't know. I just prefer playing at night, and I think with like the whole weekend, especially having kids, you can get a lot more done. So best stadium I played at easily Stade de France though is when I played Scotland France over there. 80,000 people, 80,000 French nutters as well. It's a pretty amazing stadium to play in. So that would be up there with the best atmosphere I've played at, other than Scotstoun Stadium, obviously up in Glasgow.
What about you, Max? Is there a match or a stadium that stands out for you?
A match or a stadium? There's you know what? I actually really enjoyed the Forsyth Bar in Dunedin, just because of how unique it is. It's a strange stadium. It's like a greenhouse, but it's massive. And the zoo, it's basically the student body of Dunedin, which is just like legendarily loose. We had a shield challenge there, the Round Foley Shield in the ITM, and it was mental. We got the W, got the shield, and the shield's like the holy grail of the ITM. It's like a serious thing, the plank. And it was a big old night in Dunedin. Great times. But basically, I just loved the strange sort of greenhouse vibe that was. It was like playing in the Eden Project without the temperature. It was really quite cool. Yeah, fascinating stadium.
Anything with a roof's pretty cool, isn't it? Except when it's in Japan. We played. I think it was Samoa in Japan at the World Cup, inside this greenhouse thing, and I actually thought I was going to die. I've never been somewhere so hot in my life. It was like playing rugby in 40 degrees, and the worst thing was the ball was just like a bar of soap. No one could hold on to it. It was hideous. But like you look at stadium somewhere like Wales, you know, roof, nice cold day, perfect.
Yeah.
Japan, 40 degrees. Nah, don't put a roof on that place. It's too hot, especially a glass one. Holy hecker, sweaty man. Too right. Here he is.
Lads, sorry, mate.
Oh my, look at the padded cell. Lovely. There's a lot of grey there, Jackie.
Yeah, sorry, lads. A bit of a mess, isn't it? Caught me unaware.
Jack, how was your summer break? Things get loose down in Cornwall?
Classmate. First time in my whole career that I've had 5 weeks off in a row, like completely off. So I teed up my conditioners before. I said, look, I'm going to be pretty honest with you, but I will not be doing any of your pre-season training. Oh no, pre-season training, whatever they called. And I said, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I said, I'm going to be honest. I need time off completely, and it's the best thing I've done because I feel class at the moment.
Bloody right.
I can't remember the last time I started first game of the season. So yeah, it kind of paid off. So I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm glad I did it.
Nice, man.
You were at Man United, West Ham Man United last weekend with Henry Slade.
Yeah.
And you've actually said on the past podcast you're not a football fan.
No.
How did you find the whole thing?
It was class, a bit of an experience. So I'm actually, if I had to pick a team, I was forced to make a team. I'm a big Ronaldo fan, so I'm obviously now a Man United fan.
Hold on, didn't you have a West Ham shirt on?
Well, listen, this is what I mean. So,
oh no.
So Slade's a West Ham fan. So I was like, perfect. Look, we'll see if we can get tickets. You go as a West Ham fan. I'll go with my Man United shirt. And I'm naive to football. So we turned up. He was in his West Ham in his shirt. I was in my Man U shirt. And we got in. We were up in one of the boxes, so it was pretty cool. And then the guy at reception was like, "I can't let you in, mate." And I was like, "Why not?" And he's like, "Well, you've got a Man United shirt on." I was like, "Nah, you're taking a piss, mate. Surely you can let me in." Like, why not? And he's like, no, seriously, I cannot let you in with that shirt on. He's all right to go in because he's got West Ham top on. You can. And I was like, no, mate. We've got tickets. I'm fine. I can we're up in one of the boxes. I've got to come in and watch the game. We just travelled 5 hours to get here. And he was like, look, mate, you need to put a jacket on because you cover up because I can't let you in with this side with a Man United shirt on. So I was like, I didn't even believe that was a thing. I couldn't believe it. I was like,
it's ridiculous, isn't it, Jack?
You're in gangland now, boy.
Mate, it is absolute madness. Oh, mate, I'm just happy nothing happened before. If you turned up to like a Rangers game here with a Celtic shirt on, you wouldn't have made it out the car park. Absolute nightmare. They get completely separated, like different sides of the city. So you're lucky it wasn't like a big rivalry one with like.
Mate, I was so naive, mate. I was there walking through. I was like, there's not many Man U fans here, are there? I'm just walking, smiling. Slady with his West Ham top on. I'm like, this is class. Look at this. Look at the stadium.
Oh, mate.
So I got up there, and then we were with the one of the guys who works with Umbro, and I had a jacket on. He's like, God, you hot, mate? And I'm like, no, I'm all right, mate. Not too bad. I'll just have a beer if that's all right. Then we were doing a few rounds, and then finally it came around that I had my Man United top on. And then, but luckily enough, we had the guys actually sorted out a West Ham top for us with our names and numbers on the back. So at this stage, I felt very rude to be like, oh, I'm not wearing that, mate. So I'm not a big enough football fan to say no. So I went around the corner, got changed, came back in like.
Mate, that's so funny. I saw that because I saw that on Instagram and I was like, that's a bit weird. That's a bit weird that he's a West Ham fan. And then I was thinking, because I thought initially, he's obviously gone to see Ronaldo like anyone will when he's in town. And I was thinking, I saw you with that West Ham shirt on. I was like, it's a bit of a strange team to support from all the way down Exeter. Like, that is unbelievable. What it is crazy though, eh? The football, like,
mate.
If you're not into it, you just wouldn't understand it, would you? You'd be like, especially being from a rugby background.
Yeah, exactly. And we were obviously talking to the football guys down there. They live and breathe football, and people who were sat around were like everything was down for this game. And we were like, all right, like we're trying to explain to them like it doesn't matter like what team you support. You know, we were playing Leicester at the weekend. Like you can walk in any entrance you want to walk into. You can take pints outside and drink. You can do pretty much whatever you want as a fan. It's brilliant. And they just couldn't get their head around it. They're like, what? You can sit next to a Leicester Tigers fan. I'm like, yeah, mate, it's not an issue. It depends who we're playing. Like they don't really care. And they were like, what? You don't fight? And I'm like, never, ever. It was so savage. There was 2 West Ham fans in front of us fighting, and I was like, what is going on here?
It's sad, isn't it? And they're not allowed to drink in the stands, are they?
No. And because obviously we were lucky enough to be in one of the boxes, which was an awesome experience. Because there were drinks in there, you had to shut the blinds. But like everything had to be separated, and I was like, this is mental. And there was an American couple in there with us, and we were like, oh, we're going to take our pints outside, and they were like, no way, you can't do that. Like, you can take water and that's it. And we're like, oh, all right, God. It's like very enjoyable. I wanted to sit outside and watch a sports game with a pint in my hand.
Yeah, it's mental. Mental.
So at Chiefs in the pre-season,
yep,
you boys have like, aren't you guys like savage swimmers? Like all of you are like Navy SEALs-esque at swimming now.
Well,
so what group are you in? Are you one of the killer whales?
Yeah, I'm top group, mate. I'm in the fish group. I'm not too bad.
So how many groups are there?
So we tend to have spread out across 3 or 4 groups, traditionally, and you have the tadpoles down the bottom who literally. So
is Woody a tadpole?
Woody is a tadpole, yeah.
Yes,
mate. Hoggy's a tadpole.
Has Hoggy even done a session yet?
I know he's got webbed feet, but that man can't swim either.
I don't think Hoggy's done one yet with us. So he's kind of missed them. The best one ever was Sorelli Nakalavuki at our club. Honestly, this guy is my hero, I think. But every single first swimming session of the preseason, we do a 6-length challenge. So for myself, it's 6 lengths, but I don't mind that. That's not a preseason challenge for me, but I'd enjoy doing that. There's a few of us that are like that. But then you see some of the boys that their faces have just dropped. They're like, "What? I've got to do 6 lengths of this pool without stopping." I'm like, "Yeah, mate, just go fast.
I empathise with that sentiment.
Yeah, as fast as you can." So Sorelli Nakalavuki used to be the best person ever. He would literally be walking at the shallow end, pretending to be swimming, but you can see his feet walking at the bottom of the pool. And I think he'd get like 10 minutes to do 6 lengths. And then each time at the end of each session, what we'll do is get into our teams then, and we'll do like relay races. So obviously if your team win, you get points, and at the end of pre-season, you get a prize and stuff like that, like most teams do. And honestly, Sorelli Nakalavuki then turned from being a tadpole into a shark. Like he was literally, he had a propeller on the back of his feet, because he would just be sprinting up and down the pool. It's like, mate, so all pre-season he's been a tadpole who's taking the complete piss out of the conditioners turning into this freestyle Olympic swimmer. It's brilliant.
Fair play to him. Fair play.
We're going to move on to the England squad announcement. Now, major shake-up in the England squad. England boss Eddie Jones leaving out a host of big names for a training camp later this month. Billy and Mako Vunipola, Jamie George Ford, yourself, Jack, of course, all been left out of the 45-man squad. What was your reaction, Jack? Have you spoken to Eddie recently?
Yeah. I obviously spoke to Eddie before the summer, after our final, and then I've spoke to him again during the summer. I spoke to him before the squad announcement. Yeah, so I think from obviously my point of view, obviously I'm disappointed not to be in, but at the same time, I've spoken with Eddie quite closely. I've spoken to Rob, and just kind of where I am in my career at the moment. Over the last couple of years, I've not really had solid performances or solid game time. I've been in and out, operations, injuries. So again, it kind of carries on from part of the reason why there wasn't really a summer tour for me. It was because I wanted time off. Like I wanted to go back home. I wanted to spend it with my family, my girls, and just have time completely away from rugby. Which again, from that 5 weeks off, then I wanted a full pre-season. I didn't really want to interrupt that. So because again, I can't remember the last full pre-season I'd done properly with pre-season games and then being fit for a start of the season. So that's something I really wanted to target. And and obviously going away with England is brilliant. It's the highlight of many boys' careers, but it does disrupt, your club stuff quite a bit. You're in and out of camp now and again. And I think just where my body's at, I kind of just need that standard training of just, the repetitive stuff of playing in, week out without traveling, same sort of program. And hopefully I can get back to that stage where my body can take, going away with England again.
Ryan, you've had to fight your way back into the Scotland fold before. Any pearls of wisdom for Jack?
Just do what I did, Jack. Get a Tongan to injure the other number 8, and then you get invited last minute like a spare piece, mate. Listen, he doesn't want to go back in the way I went in. I was wearing someone else's kit. It had all their bloody initials all over it. I was fucking random bits of kit that didn't fit me with MD and boys are taking pictures of me wearing Magnus Bradbury's kit and then sending it to him, winding him up. I'm like, there's this all lose it. But you'll be all right, mate. No, you don't want that. You don't want to be getting brought in last minute. You want to get in when you're meant to be there. But Listen, I agree with you. Getting a bit older, you need a little bit of time. And like you said, with everything that's gone on the last few years with COVID and everything, it's a big old season. So just being able to get away, mate, I'm envious of you getting away for that amount of time and just getting your head out of rugby. Everyone needs it.
Mental.
Everyone needs it. So to be able to do that, sometimes it's worth it. And especially if, you know, the international rugby, it will come back slowly. You're going to be in a better place when you start this season, aren't you? So then the other stuff will come with it, mate.
Jack, I was going to ask you, how many injuries has it been? Like, has it been like quite...
How long we got?
Yeah, mate, I've had nine pretty serious operations now.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so I've only it's my 10th year of playing, so I've had a couple in each season. I've not had one every year, but I'm pretty much there now of having that. It's just those niggly ones, like, because I've been lucky enough where I've been involved in every final, so I've like been managed to get in those games. And then you either go on a summer tour, and then I am lucky enough not to have been injured, then you come back late and you don't really have a pre-season, you go straight back into the Prem games, and then you kind of always playing catch up, and then you go away for Six Nations and you're back, and then it's a bit mental. And then if you have an operation, like you probably know, that then you're late for that. Then for me, I'm always chasing, trying to get back fit. And for me, if surgeon says 12 weeks, I'm like, no, it's fine, I'll do it in 8. You can get away with it when you're a bit younger, but age ain't my side as much anymore. But I've still kind of got that mentality of it. My recent one was my foot operation. So I actually did that against Toulouse in the semi-finals, and then we had the final and the Prem final, which I was desperate to play in. So the surgeon said, look, the damage is done, but you know, you can play it if you want. I'll still do the same operation, but I don't know what your rehab's going to be like after. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to risk it. Why not? How many chances do you get to play in a European final? But, you know, thank God I did. But again, it's still, I wouldn't say it's 100% yet. It's certainly getting there now after my time off. But coming back from that off, I rushed it. I tried to get back for the Six Nations. I tried to get back for the autumn. Didn't quite make it because then I rushed it a little bit and tore my hammy. So then I was out for another 8 weeks of that. And then I got back from my hammy just after Christmas, or towards the end of the season, really. And then I played 3 games, I think. Played against you boys up there. And the week after, played against Worcester and then did my MCL. So I had a grade 2 plus MCL against Worcester. And then...
Played about 2 weeks later.
Mate, then I rehabbed that in 4 weeks, yeah.
I remember.
I got back in 4 weeks for that. And then played, obviously, played the semi-final, and then that was pretty much what cemented my decision in the off season. Was like, I need time away from this because I can't be going into that vicious loop again.
Well, Sam, we've had this conversation before, Jack, when I told you, mate, you just need to do what I do. Just stick it like 75% when you play. You're like a primed racehorse, mate. That's your issue. You want to be like an old mountain goat like me. 75% just sort of truck around like me and Max, and you need to steer clear of these injuries, mate. You say
that, but then I turn up at the weekend. I got Nadalo next to me, and I'm
true.
thinking, and if I don't go 100% at this guy on the touchline, he's running straight through me, and I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm gonna have to go for it now. Put my head in the spokes and just, you know, hopefully he trips over me. So maybe if I start moving into the forwards, I'll get away with it a little bit more.
Has your training had to change much, like in terms of like what you're doing in the gym and stuff, just around all your like injury management stuff?
Yeah, so I'm a bit like you. I love weights, so I love gym. I literally.
I hear this.
And me.
And right.
Am I not in this conversation anymore?
No. Back up the screen here a minute. I love lifting. I think one of my main issues is probably how much I do like lifting, and I think in my position, I probably can't get away. I'm all about hypertrophy.
Oh, are you?
I love.
You just want to get large and in charge.
100%. And every single legs, upper body, whatever. And if the condition is say 4 reps, I'm like, nah, 12. I'm doing 12 reps.
Yeah. Oh.
So I think the semi-finals against Sale last season, I was heaviest I've ever been. I was 103 kilos.
Oh, that is big. How tall are you?
5'10".
Oh wow, that's a big old boy, 5'10".
So, and that's a whole year of rehab. So no wonder I was kind of out that weight, and I was like, I can't be playing at this because I feel slow, and it's probably partly to do why I keep tearing my muscles and stuff. So I came back into pre-season at 93 kilos, so I dropped 10 kilos in the off season. So I'm feeling that's probably part of the reason why I'm feeling pretty good. I'm running around a lot better than what I was before. So I think I've dropped the weights and concentrated a bit more on rugby, which is probably the sensible decision.
Boys, let's move on. We were talking about, Jack, some of your injury troubles. Joe Marler just recently called for the Premiership to ban 4G pitches. It got a lot of support from current players. You retweeted it yourself on Twitter. Straight up, Jack, should they be banned?
100%. 100%. I hate them. I can't stand them. I'm in a position now where I can play on them. When I was younger, I struggled quite a bit with patella tendonitis pretty badly. I had that opt on eventually. So I'm kind of in a position where I'm strong enough to play on them. But they're just not nice. Whether you get through the game and you feel all right in the game, I always find then the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday sessions are horrendous. Like I feel like I can't run. I feel very, very sore. I feel a lot worse than what I normally would after a game. I don't know if it's you become robust to them and you're used to playing them. You'll probably be able to tell me a bit more about that.
My knees are fucked.
Yeah, well, there you go. I just don't.
Yeah,
if you put it next to like Bristol got a Deso pitch, haven't they as well? And we
follow the money, Jack. Follow the money.
Yeah. Well,
that's what it's about.
Well, our pitch wasn't very good. The last couple of seasons, I think that's because of COVID. You blame it on COVID like everyone else does. But I just think if you put a Deso pitch next to a 4G pitch, like the reason people pick 4G pitches, is because of getting use out of them, letting crowd walk on them, doing concerts, whatever. And I just that's not that's not about the rugby. And I understand that the clubs have got to make money. It's been tough, but that's not about the rugby. And if you're putting players at risk for it, and I know there are people who come out and say there's studies where there's not actually a lot more risk on them. I think that's got to be complete rubbish, because there's no way that if you play on a Deso pitch or a grass pitch, compare it to a 4G pitch, and you're not getting more injuries on a 4G pitch. I think it's complete lies. So especially after what people are saying.
Have you heard about like the carcinogenic sort of stuff that comes off them though? You know that black crumb?
Oh, mate,
it's all like recycled tires.
Now.
It is ridiculous, mate.
Yeah, I know it. And then the heat hits it, and it's just in your wounds. You're swallowing it. It's probably going up. It expands in your blood. Oh my god, it's horrendous. If you read into it, you're like, yes, good. Just marinating in that for 80 minutes. Great times.
Mate, I live on it. I live on one.
Well, don't read the stuff about it. Yeah.
So wait, hang on, guys. Max, you've just basically told Ryan he's got cancer, but Jack, can you explain a little bit why they're so bad for kind of your regular non-rugby players?
I think it's all about obviously the cuts. I think everyone that doesn't like them likes to put a picture of their cuts on Instagram.
The razor burns,
yeah, and the cuts are brutal. There has been times where it's crazy. You get boys getting skin grafts and stuff from it, and there's been times where boys haven't been able to train because their wounds are so badly opened and they're not healing, they're infected, and it's horrible. And you can promise, to your blue in the face of how good our artificial pitch is, you're not going to get cuts on it. No matter what they do, you're always going to get a cut on it unless it's grass. That's as simple as that. And that's just not that. That's just the cut side of it. You got obviously the shock of it running on it. I think load and stuff. We've had a lot of boys, ACLs and things like that because it's just obviously grass and Deso is a certain give. Like Deso pitches, for people that don't know, are actually is it 60-40, isn't it? 60%.
Something like that.
Or vice versa. So there is a bit in it because they do look good and they stay and they're kept better. But if you go full 4G, there's definitely something in it which doesn't help your bodies and even just the way you feel. Honestly, like I said, you can't train. Last time I did it, played one. I can't remember what it was, but I remember Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I felt like death. And it wasn't until Thursday, Friday, and we were playing on Friday night that I actually started feeling better again. So this year is going to be pretty interesting. I think we've got Glasgow, Worcester, Saracens, and Newcastle all within 4 or 5 weeks. So it's going to be a bit of a test for a few of our boys.
Ryan, from your perspective, obviously you play on the synthetic pitch and have done for a few years. Do you agree with Jack and Joe Marler as well?
I've got to be careful. But
you've got to be very careful, mate.
What I would say is I think a Deso pitch is a lot a lot more expensive. If I'm right, I think that probably costs a hell of a lot more. So that's probably why people go for the cheaper option. If I had the choice, I'd play on Deso all day long. Even over grass, I'd have a Deso pitch all day long. Don't get as dirty. Right, so that's the one thing, and they're pristine. And with the weather in Glasgow, that's the main reason we ended up getting a fully synthetic pitch, is because it just rains all the time, and it just flooded and flooded and flooded. So they put this in. But if I had the choice, I'd go Deso or grass, because I thought. But I do believe you get more used to it. Like I've got used to it, so I'm used to playing on it. I train on it every single day. We don't train on a grass pitch; we train on that pitch every day. So.
Do you even if you're playing a? Because I don't know if Sarries still do it, or I know they certainly did do it. If they were playing a team that were on grass at the weekend, they would go and train on grass that week. And obviously, if they're playing at home, they would train on 4G. So would you always train on 4G even if you're playing on grass pitch at the weekend?
Yeah, most of the time just train on our 4G. We'd just scrum on grass, just because it's a completely different thing for the forwards. But we'd just train on our 4G pitch. So, yeah, listen, if I had the choice, I'd go Deso or grass all day. But with the weather in Glasgow, honestly, some of the days, it's the worst thing is when the rubber crumb freezes. There's the heat. Honestly, there's the heat when pre-season. Oh, the blisters, man! Like the rubber crumb gets bloody boiling. You can see it like heating up. It's a nightmare. And then when it freezes, you're having a tough old night, especially a scrum, Max. You boys wouldn't go anywhere near it. Boys wearing like 22s on it. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Oh, that's the worst bit. You feel your sprigs just coming through your boots into your sesamoid bones, just desecrating your poor footsies. Oh, it's the worst.
Right, it's time for the second instalment of Max's book club, where Max reads out a segment from a famous player's autobiography. And excited. Ryan and Jack, if you could try to guess whose autobiography he's reading from. Take it away, Max.
Every player's got a biography at the moment. It's going to be impossible, this.
I know. Okay. Tell me about it. Have you got one yet, Jack?
No way.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's not.
Never?
Never.
I would love to read your memoirs. Okay, here we go. Got your kit sorted. I looked up and saw the bent nose and the squashed eyebrow. It was Martin Johnson, England's best ever captain, booming down at me from a great height. Intimidating doesn't even begin to cover it. I watched him lifting the 2003 World Cup on telly when I was a fat 13-year-old. He was one of the most phenomenal players the country had ever seen. Now here he was, not just standing in front of me, but eyeballing me at the start of my first England training camp in February 2010. Yes, I squeaked. The kit man sorted me out. So you're good to go. Good to train, are you? I detected an edge to his voice. Yeah, I'm good to go. I was. I detected an edge in his voice. Yeah, I'm good to go. I was shifting my weight from one foot to the other and mumbling my words. It wasn't the impression I wanted to give to one of the rugby's hardest men. Well, he barked, you're going to have to get rid of the fucking stupid haircut before you do. I blushed. Did Martin Johnson really just say that? Was he serious? I was confused as well as shocked, because what did my haircut have to do with him? With rugby? He stalked off and glanced around awkwardly, wondering what to do next. I could only assume he was showing me he was the boss, stamping his authority on the new pup. Besides, how was I supposed to get rid of my haircut here? I nipped to the toilet before the training session started and caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. It'll be fine, I thought. I'll just have to crack on and hope he doesn't mention it again. My Mohican was dyed the brightest red you could imagine. During the week, I had trimmed it into a very tight, neat stripe, so it looked like I had a giant scarlet-coloured caterpillar sleeping down the middle of my scalp. For a bit of extra pizzazz, I had stars and stripes saved around the sides of my head. It was an absolutely bloody brilliant haircut, the best I'd ever had. There was no way in the world I was getting rid of it, not even for Martin Johnson. I ran out onto the field. Fuck you. Sorry. I ran out onto the field. Fuck you, Martin Johnson, I thought. You can't make me shave my head. My hair's got nothing to do with rugby. There it is, gentlemen. I think...
That's quite an obvious one, isn't it?
Very good.
I'm looking forward to the one where you have to put an accent on.
Well, yeah, when they give me some Antipodeans, I'll smash that. Yeah.
Jack, for the purposes of all of our listeners, who was that?
It could have started with someone like Hask at the start, but I think he was already bowled by then. So it's pretty.
No, it's just
it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Pretty obvious. That's a typical Marler haircut, that, isn't it? And I can imagine him
Absolutely.
going out.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah,
he wouldn't give a fuck. Good stuff.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Max. Now let's move on to some of the other stories that have happened over the weekend. One of the worst late tackles in recent years. Reno Peterson on Bordeaux at scrum half. Maxime Luku in the top 14 at the weekend. Let's start with you, Ryan. Where does that one rank for you?
Right. I'm going to get some.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brian.
Yeah,
I'm
I know
with
what
you
you're
on
going to
this.
say. Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, I'm actually with you.
I genuinely don't think it was that bad. It looks bad, right? Hold on.
It looks like it's out of water, boy.
Yeah. You know, problem is, it's how far he jumped from where he jumped to where he contacted him. But there was no need for the jump. But if he had just carried on running and hit him where he hit him,
Yeah.
I think it's probably a late shot, but it wouldn't be that bad. It's the jump that's made it look horrific.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So I don't know. We could get in trouble here, but I don't think it's that bad. Are you boys in agreement?
Yeah, I'm sort of with you. I think, like, if you looked at it strictly on the laws, he sort of hits him at a safe height. But it's the theatricality of the jump. It just looks outrageous. It looks like it's straight out of Waterboy. He's Adam Sandler, just with the insano, just horizontal across the field. And you're just like, oh no. He's a little man, and that is a big old bit of biltong just flying through the air.
Yeah.
Aims him.
It's because they're both in the air as well. He's kicked it.
Yeah.
He's in the air, so he's off the ground, and he hits him in a. Like you said, it's not a bad position, but he's already in the air as well, so it's nothing they can do.
It's just the worst, yeah.
And it's physics, isn't it? Physics.
Simple physics. So yeah, like, listen, if he hadn't jumped, it wouldn't have looked as bad. It might be a yellow card because it was a late shot, but yeah, I've seen worse. But it looked horrific. Well, we were going to get told off for laughing about it now. People were like, you shouldn't laugh about that. It's not funny.
Yeah, you're trivializing the safety of the game. I'm like, well.
Yeah.
How long, Jack, do you agree the forwards union's all talking there like, oh, not that bad. The camera's made it look bad. Do you actually agree with that?
No, it is bad, isn't it? But like you said, you've seen a lot worse. But again, it's because it's not helped. They're both in the air. He has jumped from about 10 meters away. Doesn't seem to hit the floor before he hits him. And obviously the scrum half's in the air as well, so it's going to look bloody. It does look bloody awful, but. Again, I might get in trouble, but it's quite funny to watch at the same time.
It almost looks superimposed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the nine did a full flip and landed on his feet again.
Yeah. Hey, he wouldn't get banned then. He didn't land on his head, so that's all right.
Yeah, exactly. So it would have been all right. But yeah, I don't know. We're going to get told off for this. But anyway, move on.
Have you got any horror tackles that you've witnessed firsthand, Ryan, that spring to mind? Something like that. That won't be talked about for a while now, but one that really comes straight to your mind.
Off the top of my head, no, I haven't actually. I most of them I see, I go, oh, just let it go. You know, let it play on.
I got a good one in training.
Oh yeah,
we had a good one in training. Do you remember a player we had at the club? He was an Aussie fellow who spent a bit of time in Wales. Called Ben White. It's back row.
Yeah.
We were training and it did look bad. It looked bad on camera, but I think someone came in from the side. Someone came in from the side and someone tackled him above and he got bent over sideways. And we shouldn't laugh because at the time it was obviously pretty bad. Well, we thought it was pretty bad. And he's giving it the old one, a line on the floor, and Rob Baxter literally just stood there watching the drill as well. And he's on his back, he's holding his knee. He's looking up at Rob. He's almost crying on the floor, shouting, Rob, it's fucked, mate. It's fucked. And he's rolling around. He's panicking. And everyone's like, oh, no, his leg snapped or something. Anyway, that panic's kind of wore off a little bit. And he ends up getting up, walking into the changing room, and there's nothing wrong with him in the end. And it's just
no, that'll do you in.
The whole session had stopped, and he was calling out the coach, saying it was fucked. So that was, I think we
full
all
Lazarus. Oh man, the worst one I've seen was Chris Halafir, Baba Yaga. Like, he's the guy you call to kill John Wick, like Tongan warlord of the highest level. Like, he ended people. He was shaving years off guys' careers if they ran it. And anyway, we were playing Gloucester. It was my first start at Tired. I got absolutely rinsed by Nick Wood. It was terrible. Young Max got absolutely pwned. But anyway, we're in a kick chase. Ollie Morgan catches this ball. He kicks it like literally so early. And then Chris Halafir just lurches out of nowhere. This is like a good 2-3 seconds after he's kicked it and has just mauled him. Like, it's like arm, shoulder, everything's open. Like, he'd have been banned for life nowadays in the climate we're in. It was so bad. Straight red. But oh my God, it was horrible. I felt so bad for that poor Caucasian Morgan just getting ended by he was
it's the late ones. The late ones always look worse, don't they? Especially like after someone's kicked the ball or just past the net. It's when they're not looking.
Yeah, and they're like slightly like just chilled out. The body's like flaccid. They're not ready for it. And then next minute, oh God.
They fold around whoever's hitting them. Like completely folded.
Yeah, that Ben Foden one from Henry Tuolangi.
Yeah.
One of the greats.
Mark, would you have said that was, when you saw that one we just spoke about where they kicked the ball and he's absolutely melted him, were you like, that's the disgrace?
What's really weird is I was watching the game and at normal speed it looked like a late tackle and you winced, right? You winced for the 9. But then when it's in slow-mo, it's exactly what you said. It's a weird, it's a Superman jump into him. Yeah. And then also, if you notice in slow-mo, he then smashes his head against him as well. And when but what I quite enjoyed was the referee also being like, everyone, no need for handbags. It's a straight red. That first thing he said from about 20 meters down the pitch. It was.
Did he headbutt him?
No, but he sort of landed onto his body. But again, the whole thing, the side angle just looks dreadful.
Brilliant. I think the reason it looks so wrong is because he kind of jumps up vertically. He comes up and it just goes.
Yeah, like full Emperor Penguin, just do it up.
Great compassion for the 9 guys there. Right, let's move on to a big match at the weekend. Australia beating South Africa again and outscoring the world champions 4-1 in a 30-17 win. Do we think their unique game plan and style of play was a bit exposed by the Aussies, Ryan?
Yeah, I think so. They played them off the park, didn't they? They had a good scrum, good set piece. Australia, after that first win the week before, I think I saw a few comments from some of the players and coaches, and it was like, this one means nothing unless we back it up. And they went and did that. Like, yeah, they're looking bloody good, aren't they? They're looking bloody good. South Africa weren't great, but old Quade Cooper, mate, what a story.
Actually, bringing the old band back together, James O'Connor could even be lining up with Quade Cooper for the first time in 10 years. Max, you played alongside O'Connor, who we know loves a night out. Any good stories?
I did not actually play with Jimmy O'Connor. I missed him by a season, but
producer's fired. Yeah, everyone's done.
I've got no specific stories, unfortunately, but since it's like he's sort of had I believe he's had sort of a spiritual revolution of sorts since his heydays of the CD Melbourne life. But he was part of this thing called the Rat Pack. I think I've talked about it before on here, but we'll do it again for Jackie Boy. But it was like it was him, Danny Cipriani, and Buddy Franklin. I think Curly Beale was involved as well, and they were called the Rat Pack. And they basically just ruled the nightlife of Melbourne and got into all sorts of badness. But yeah, I think he's a much different guy now. Very grounded, quite spiritual, I believe. Like the consummate pro. He's really sort of worked hard to sort of rebuild his career, I think.
Last week, Ryan, you talked about the relative lack of banter from the South Africans. What about the Kiwis? Have they got some good sledge?
Yeah, they're very mouthy, aren't they? They give it some. They do give it some. James Lowe is probably one of the worst when we play against Leinster. Giving it non-stop. He's pretty bad. We've spoken about him. He's been on the pod before. So, yeah, there's a mixture of them, but their banter's definitely better than the South Africans.
Talking about
do
a
we
big...
agree? Do we agree or watch me get absolutely murdered? See, with 4 South African teams coming into our league, torn to shreds.
I know we've got a few sappers in our team, and I'm not going to say that to them. I'm afraid of them at the moment, so I'll keep quiet a minute.
Everyone just stayed quiet there.
Well, speaking of a big South African that you're probably going to come up against, Ryan, there was a big transfer last week. Ulster signing World Cup winner Duane Vermeulen. How surprised were we to see him make the move to Ulster rather than perhaps the Premiership or top 14, for instance?
Not at all. Best league in the world. Matt, hey, what are you doing? Jack, you all right?
I don't know what to say.
There? Hey, no, listen. Rory McIlroy's obviously got the old checkbook out, hasn't he? He's must have thrown some cash at that. And what were we going to say? Duane Vermeulen, lovely bloke, big friendly guy. I'm looking forward to playing against him. It's a good one, isn't it? Like, they must have thrown some cash around because there's got to be everyone in the top 14 wanting hold of him. I'd say he's up there. He's probably the best number 8 at the moment in the world, isn't he? So, and he's getting on a bit. What is he? Probably 35, 34, 35. So, yeah, I look forward to having a couple of matchups. We've actually got Ulster Friday night, so I'm happy we get them before he comes. That's a positive for us. Get it out of the way before he comes over, and then I'm sure he'll be straight there after the autumn cup stuff, won't he? Autumn Cup, is it an Autumn Cup anyway? Is the Autumn Tests? Sorry,
Something like that. I know.
Yeah.
Changes every year.
Yeah. So yeah, Premiership's not what it's hyped up to be, mate.
Take a vote.
No, we're all right. We're fine. We'll just keep quiet. It's all right.
Yeah,
We're hearty.
the product speaks for itself.
Yeah, we don't have to justify ourselves here.
Yeah.
You boys are all about the money. We're all about hearty rugby.
RTG.
I just love the way you guys stay silent whilst Ryan just murders himself against the South Africans, just takes them all down. No one says anything bad and just digs his own grave. Good, well played. Speaking of you, Jack, you mentioned there were a lot of South Africans. You've got a few South Africans in your squad. What impact do we think the kind of continued exodus of South African players to Europe will have on their domestic teams compared with the national side?
I don't know. I think our boys, they just wanted to come over and play a bit of rugby. I think what it does for the Premiership is obviously class. They are, I don't know, no matter what position they are, they all seem to be very, very physical, don't they? We've got Jack Vermeulen and Yannis Karsten, and I think Rob pretty much brought them over to try and smoke boys in the Premiership, and they're certainly doing that. And I think, those boys said that looking from their side over into the Premiership was something they wanted to do for a while, and they said that they are over here now. They're loving it. They both of them love being in Devon. But then we've also got a few of them. Don Armand came over, Dave Ewers as well. He's been with us since he was a bit younger. But we've had a lot of those boys that come over and almost fall in love with it and then end up staying with us for a while. So obviously someone like Jack Vermeulen's definitely got, and Yanni I suppose as well. But they definitely got ambitions to go back and play for their countries. But obviously makes it very, very difficult to be able to do that if you are playing over here. But as long as they're playing well, there might be a chance for them to go back and play for their clubs. But like I said, they're loving it here at the moment and they're loving the Premiership. So yeah, I'm glad
they're not just over here for their rugby. You've got to have a couple in the squads for their brides. You get them cooking a barbecue in there. It's always good to have.
I reckon I love my barbecue in them, but these boys are literally like rain, sun, shine, snow. That they are literally out there no matter what. A little bit of steak. The butchers, we've got a couple of farm shops around here.
Yeah.
And they love them. First names in, they come. Yeah, usual steak. Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It is crazy. It's so stereotypical, but they all absolutely love it, and they do a good one. The other ones are Argentinians, like Enrique Pareto, who was down with you boys.
Yeah.
They love it. They love just getting out doing a barbecue. So they're always good for having around the club to get a good feed and do a team social with. The same with the Islanders doing lovus and things like that. You see a lot of stuff on social media. The boys digging up the 4G and burying burying a bit of lamb and goat under there.
It'd be better to play on that.
Why is he acting?
Literally, yeah. No, but I don't think it would change much for South African rugby domestically, just because the schoolboy element. Have you ever? I toured there twice as a kid, and it is the most nuts environment as a young rugby player. Like, it is religion. They have the craziest, like, basically all their school songs are like butchered national anthems. Like, I'm pretty sure Hilton School is the nicest school you've ever seen. It's got like a game park in it. There's like giraffes on the premises and zebras and stuff. It's mental, but it's just lovely. But anyway, their school songs like Flower of Scotland, but with Hilton lyrics. It's nutty. I was like, you can't do that, can you? I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. It's like mental. But yeah, it's more that tradition of just pumping out schoolboys, and also apparently the schoolboy scene's hella juicy, apparently, in terms of the PEDs. They had to clamp down on that soon because it was getting out of control. But it's so competitive. Yeah, because they're just so hungry to excel at the next level. It's like worth it. It's savage. It's like it's a big part of their lives.
There we go. Quick one. We were talking about the social aspect with the South Africans. Jack, you're coming up against Exeter, coming up against Bristol on New Year's Eve. So obviously you're taking Max Leif out for a massive night out on New Year's Eve. We're getting that signed off?
Yeah, we'll have a couple of quiet ones.
I'm down. I'm so down. Yeah. Let's get weird and wonderful. Yeah.
But I'm going to try and go teetotal now.
Really? I heard you're a guzzler of the highest order.
No, I've said this for the last 3 weeks now, but I genuinely mean it this week. I'm going to try and that's it now.
What, you said it every week and then you do that?
Yeah, I mean it now. I'm going to try and, like I said, I'm in this new stage of looking after my body, and something bad always happens after I've had a social, I've had a few drinks. I can never have 1 or 2 pints. I don't like the taste of alcohol for a start. So if you're going to do it, you're going to go big, aren't you? And so I think the last time we had a pre-season little trip away to Cornwall, team bonding. Got absolutely obliterated for 2 days. 2 days after that, I got COVID. So I'm like, right, well, that's not a good sign, is it? So that's something bad happened. I either get injured or tear a muscle, or I get COVID. So I'm literally saying now I'm going to try and go teetotal to the end of the season.
Yeah. That is a big commitment, Jack.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'm not like a couple of boys like a pint on a Wednesday.
Oh, right, like a nice red with their sirloin.
Yeah,
I get you.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not about that life. I'm gonna go 10 pints or none. So I'm gonna
last 2 minutes.
This starting now.
First Europe away game. Oh well, we're in the great city of love, and yeah, we'll see.
I'm gonna give it a go. So I'll let you know how I get on.
Yeah, good luck with that, mate. Good luck with that.
We'll look forward to that. Otherwise, it's going to be a very boring New Year's Eve for you, Max. Booze-free New Year's Eve. Max, why don't you do us the weekly wrap-up, where there's a lot of, obviously, incredible rugby that we enjoyed over the weekend. So let's leave it down to Max to summarise the best of the action in his own unique way.
Okay. From the ancient city of Bath to the industrial rivers of Newcastle, after a summer's hiatus, this week's battle finally recommenced. Saracens back once more in the Premier, kicked for salvation. The return of the Messiah to Bath could not help their siege, and the Sharks of Sale gobbled up the points. The Tigers were growling, pouncing and purring as they overcame the Chiefs from down south. Quins continued to conquer after their gold rush of yesteryear, and Worcester proved that there's no such thing as the luck of the Irish. Let us not forget the Battle of the Cotswold, where the Saints truly went, marching in over the Cherry and Whites, bonus points aplenty, and then to France, once enemies, now a sovereign ally, where one South African was guilty of an unlawful late tackle, and punished he shall be. 9,430 miles down south, his South African brethren were tasting back-to-back defeats for their first time in years. And no matter what Rassie does now, the results are set in stone. The Aussies are back once more, and they're glistening golden fleeces like Jason with his Argonauts. This is a team replenished, invigorated, who are hungry to make their mark and climb back up the stairway of redemption, whilst the Pumas were mercilessly trampled by a team dressed in all black. Who knows what is next in the game of tip-tap?
Nice, man. feel like I'm like that's the beginning of a movie or something. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
nodded.
What is going on with this podcast?
I got to give it back by Fred, so next time I want to get it and I want to do one as well. But yeah, I quite like that. That was quite fun. I enjoyed that.
Good. Very good.
Take top off next time.
Oh God, yeah, too much.
The topless wrap. Okay, and that's that is a wrap, guys. Thank you so much. That's all from us this week. Thank you to Ryan, thank you to Max, and to Jack, and thank you all for listening. Do make sure you like and subscribe. Keep those comments coming in. You might have the boys read them out, or just show up at your door. But thanks a lot, and we'll see you next week.